Welcome, fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic peeps, to my channel, Simon Slashers, where, we talk about everything from Nickelodeon slime to horror movie slashers, but plenty of stuff in between, including books. And today, it is one of my favorite book-themed videos that I do every single month. It is my TBR video for the month of February. So stay right where you are, we'll go to this short intro, and when we come back, we will get into all the books. Welcome back, guys! February. It is the month of love, but it's also, for me, this year, the month of frickin' a boatload of book clubs, a ton of frickin' read-alongs, lots of specific vlogs, and tons of reading events and readathons. So lots going on in February, but I'm not complaining. I'm really jazzed and excited. I am, however, not playing my TBR game, which, if you didn't hear or know, it's based on Uno, the card game. If you didn't hear, I don't know, that just made me laugh for some reason, and I'm still laughing about that. But I'm not playing it this month, but I will play it again in a future month, so have no fear. If you love the game, it will be back. But this month, there's just so much going on that I want to participate in. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do all the things, and I will play my game another month, and it'll be fine. So first, let's start off with my club things and my public read-along. So for my book club, the Midnight Book Society, we have an official pick for the month of February. If you're new here, I just want to let you know that my book club is free and open to the public. We have a public Discord that anybody is welcome to join. I will link that down below in the description box, so check it out if you don't already belong. So that's one way you can participate. You could read along with us and chat on the Discord. Also, we will have a live show either at the end of the month of February or the beginning of March. And my two co-hosts for the live show for that discussion will be Kat from Kat's Novel Adventures and Nathaniel Toll. He's on Instagram. I will link his Instagram below, so check him out. Follow him on Instagram. He's a wonderful author. He has books that are available to read right now, including Someone KU, so check it out. He is marvelous. And our read for February will be Grim Memorials by R. Patrick Gates. Funnily enough, R. Patrick Gates was one of Nathan's teachers. So my friend Nathaniel Toll, as I said, who's going to be co-hosting the live show with me and Kat, he had R. Patrick Gates as a creative writing teacher. So that will be very interesting. We will definitely talk about that during the live show. So join us if you're interested. Stay tuned for the official date and time, which we will have the live show at. And not only will this be a really entertaining read, I'm thinking it is a vintage book, but this is also perfect if you are also going to be participating in Kat's Readathon, which is taking place for the entire month of February. So my friend Kat, like I said, you could find her at Kat's Novel Adventures. She is hosting Folklore February, and it's all about reading folklore, folktale, fairy tale type of stories. There will be some fairy tale-like elements in this, as you might imagine, and so that is why it would be perfect for Folklore February. You could see here Grimm with two M's, like the Brothers Grimm. I'm very pumped. If you want to know more information about this, check it out, look it up on Goodreads. I do believe that the audio is available on Everand, and if not, you could also find it on Audible and on Hoopla. At least for me, I can find it on Hoopla. So join us if you would like. I think this is going to be a really fun read. Next, I am doing a year-long Richard Layman read-along. You can choose to read along, pick and choose which months you join us for. Last month in January, technically this month at the time I'm filming this, but you know what I mean. For January, it was choose your own Layman, so you could read any Layman book you wanted, but for the rest of the months of the year, from February on to November, we have specific books picked out where we're all going to read the same book along together. Whereas the last month of the year, December, that one will be another choose your own Layman month. You could read whatever you want. But for February, it's our first official group read, which will be Beware by Richard Layman. It is on Kindle Unlimited, and if you have Audible and Kindle Unlimited, you could get the audio for free along with the KU copy, which, by the way, I already read this, so technically I'm putting it on my TBR, but it's just to remind you guys that we're doing the read along. The Discord, it's the same Discord as my book club. It's linked below if you just want to participate that way. There is no live show for the Richard Layman read along. It's just for fun. I will warn you, there is SA, quite a lot of SA in Beware, so just know that if that's one of your triggers, do not read it. And the audio for this is also on Everrand. Next piece of book club business is I'll be co-hosting for Amy McCaw's book club. If you're not following Amy McCaw, please check her out. Not only is she a fantastic booktuber, but she's also a wonderful, wonderful author, and I just think she's an amazing person. Very sweet, very kind. And I enjoy every single time I've co-hosted for her book club. Her book club is a YA focus book club, so her pick for February is the Babysitters Club, and she so kindly asked me to be a part of the live show when she eventually has it, so I am so stoked to be a part of it, and I am very, very pumped to get to this, because I've had this book on my physical TBR for quite a while, so now, this being Amy's official book club book and me being a co-host for the month of February, I have an excuse to finally get to this, and it just sounds like it's going to be so cute.
17-year-old Esme has a Babysitters Club. She knows it's kind of lame, but what else is she supposed to do? Get a job? Gross. And lately, Esme needs all the cash she can get because it seems like destruction follows her wherever she goes. Enter Cassandra Heaven. She's Instagram model hot, dresses like she found her clothes in a dumpster, and has a rebellious streak as gnarly as the cafeteria cooking. So why is Cassandra willing to do anything, even take on a potty training 2-year-old to join Esme's Babysitter Club? Turns out Esme and Cassandra have more in common than they think, and they're about to discover what being a babysitter really means: a heroic lineage of superpowers, magic rituals, and saving the innocent from seriously terrifying evil, and all before the parents get home.
This sounds like so much fun! It's like Buffy mixed with, like, Babysitters Club, kind of. Buffy, but with witches, you get it. Instead of just vampire slaying. This screams nostalgia to me in terms of the colors of the cover, and I'm really intrigued, and I hope I like it because I've got high expectations for this. Thank you again to Amy McCaw. Make sure you subscribe to her, linked below. Thank you again, Amy, for asking me to co-host for February. More book club business, let's go! One of Kelly's book clubs, she has two. One she runs with Crystal, one she runs by herself. Her solo book club is the From Hell book club, and for February, their group read will be Mine by Robert R. McCammon. Robert McCammon's my favorite author. If you're new here, he's my fave! But if you're a longtime viewer of mine, you know I love McCammy, so of course I'm joining in, and I'm super excited. Essentially, the premise, we've got this mother who is trying to find her daughter who has been taken from her, and it's a very fast-paced, tense thriller, apparently, from what I've read about the description. So I'm very excited and eager to dig into this for Kelly's From Hell book club. Her other book club that she runs with my friend Crystal over at the channel Fiber Artsy is called Death by TBR, and I believe they are reading the book Wonder. So I just wanted to shout that out if you guys are interested. I have a packed TBR, but if I happen to have time at the end of the month, I will try to squeeze in the book Wonder, because I heard fantastic things about it. I think my friend Christine read that book and really, really enjoyed it. Check out Christine's channel. You could find her at Secrets Read. More book club business. I also want to participate in my friend Amy's book club. Not Amy McCaw, but Amy from Amy Noel Reads. Check out her channel. She's one of my favorite people on earth. And for her book club, she will be reading the book Alice by Christina Henry. And this is like a darker version of Alice in Wonderland, so this will be a perfect fairy tale adjacent book that will work for me when I'm participating in Cat's Readathon, the Folklore February Readathon. So it'll be perfect. I'll be doing it for Amy's book club, but also for Cat's Readathon, so double dipping, and it works, and I'm very pumped. Next book club book I'd like to get to would be Bridge by Lauren Bues, and this is the book club pick for the Pyramid Book Club. The Pyramid Book Club is run by Monica, also run by Michelle, and of course Lexi from Books with Lexi. Check out all their channels. I will have them all linked below. The Pyramid Book Club, I don't always get to participate, but I've heard fantastic things about this book. Grady Hendrix has talked about this book, and so that has me extra intrigued. I'm a little scared because I know it's got some sci-fi elements, and I'm tentative when I dip my toe into sci-fi, but I'm gonna try, and I'm really pumped. I have a hold on Libby already, and hopefully my hold comes in so I can participate and read it in the month of February. Next up, I have a book that I'll be buddy reading with one of my favorite people on earth, the queen of vintage horror, Alex the Bookubus. Her and I will be buddy reading The Ceremonies by Te Klein. I've heard fantastic things about this. I think it's essentially an old school cult-like story, if I remember correctly. So it says,
Summer, a dark foreboding shadow descends on the peaceful farming community of Gilead, New Jersey. Strange and possible events occur with increasing frequencies. The ceremonies have begun. Rites not performed for centuries, rituals designed to release horrors from Earth itself, celebrations of evil, orchestrated by one mysterious old man with the knowledge and power to unleash a nightmare, a cycle of terror whose shattering final turn will demand the taking of 2 lives. The time has come, for it is summer, and the ceremonies have begun.
part of my TBR for February is actually a secret because I will be doing some secret vlogs in February, including one that may or may not involve my friend Lexi, who I mentioned before, Lexi from Books with Lexi. I can mention, though, that we will be buddy reading a book in addition to me doing this top secret vlog. The book we will be buddy reading together will be Devil's Creek by Todd Keslane, and this is another book. It's a newer book compared to the Ceremonies, but I believe this also has to do with a cult element. So when I say a cult element, it's not a cult, O-C-C-U-L-T, it's a space cult, C-U-L-T element. So I think there's a cult involved in the story is what I'm trying to say. Both of those words, or those two words together, sound very similar to the one word occult with an O. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify, both the Ceremonies and Devil's Creek I think have to do with a cult and people being influenced to join said cult.
In 1983, a church burned down following a mass suicide. Among the survivors were the 6 children and their grandparents who banded together to defy their former minister. Dubbed the Stafford Six, these children grew up amid scrutiny and ridicule, but their infamy has faded over the last 30 years. Now the ordeal is all but forgotten, and the old pastor is nothing more than a scary story told around campfires. For one of the 6, memories of that fateful night have fueled a successful art career and a lifetime of nightmares. When his grandmother dies, he returns to the area to settle her estate. What he finds waiting for him are secrets that she kept from him in his youth, and secrets about his father and the church. Secrets that can no longer stay buried.
Yet another buddy read. I told you there's a lot of stuff going down in February. I will be buddy reading Eclipse. Look at this chunker. I've already read this, so this will be a reread, but I'll be rereading this as a buddy read with my friend Andrew over at the channel It Came From the Page. We have been rereading all of the Twilight books and rewatching the movies, and also recording drunk commentaries for the movies and putting them on my Patreon channel. I have been having such a good time doing that with Andrew. Eclipse is the book and movie that are up next on our list. We started at the end of last year and we're continuing on this year. Like I said, Eclipse is next in line, and I'm really excited to see if it still lives up to my teenage memories of reading this and also watching the movie. Alright, now let's talk about reading challenges and readathons. I already mentioned Cat's Readathon, which is one big readathon that I'm super stoked to participate in. I will be heavily participating in Cat's Readathon. Once again, please check out our channel. And if you are curious about the readathon, honestly, Folktale February, lots of books can fall under that umbrella. Lots of books can fit into the fairy tale, folktale, fable, all kinds of books can fall under that category. So I'm just going to go to my library and pick out some additional books, probably picture books that I will be able to read to participate in Cat's Readathon. She has very loose prompts, and they're not really very specific prompts. They're one-word prompts, which really can be interpreted in a multitude of ways. I will link her announcement video below if you want to join in and you want to know more deets and find out how you can join in on the fun. It's going to be a good time. But if you read my book club book or Amy's book club book, both books would count for Folklore February, so at least those 2 books would get you covered with participating for sure. The other events I'll be participating in, there's another month-long event, which is called the Gothic Hearts Reading Challenge. It is hosted by a multitude of great booktubers, including Regina St. Clair, but also I heard about it directly from my friend Elizabeth over at the channel Elizabeth Sagewood. She is fantastic. Check out her channel. Like all of the people I've been mentioning this whole video, the reason I mention these people is because I truly, truly like them, and I truly think that everyone should check them out. That's why I always praise these channels and say please check them out down below, and that's why I link them. So I'm not a big Gothic reader, but that's okay, because there are some books that I read in high school that I'd love to revisit, including Pride and Prejudice. Now, the Gothic Hearts Reading Challenge has a whole board of prompts, and one of the prompts is actually called Wuthering Heights, read a Gothic story featuring a large estate. I either want to reread Pride and Prejudice or Wuthering Heights, which this prompt is named after. So either one of those would work perfectly. Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice, he has a very large estate in the book Pride and Prejudice, so that's why Pride and Prejudice would fit that prompt as well as Wuthering Heights. So I would love to reread either. I remember loving them in high school, but will I still love them as an older adult and as an actual reader now? I didn't consider myself a reader back when I read those in high school, yet I still enjoyed them. So I'm very curious to see what I would think of them now. I may or may not try to fit in more books to other prompts for the Gothic Hearts Reading Challenge, but definitely going to reread one of those 2 books for sure, hands down. Another readathon I'll be participating in will be Coral's readathon over at the channel Pretty in Paper Cuts. Coral is so funny. If you haven't checked out her channel, she really deserves more subscribers. Please, please check out her channel if you have not, because she makes me laugh and smile so much. She's one of the coolest people ever, just so down to earth, so sarcastic, but in the best way. I mean that as a huge compliment. I love her humor, and just her vibe. Her entire vibe is amazing, and I love it. And I wish that I had the same vibe as her. She just comes off as so cool, and I don't know, like, everything is effortless when she talks on camera. I just love her style and vibe, as I said. So her readathon is called My Bloody Valentine. It is a week-long readathon during the week of Valentine's Day, and essentially she's got a list of a few prompts, and it's perfect because it's kind of like a darker celebration for Valentine's Day. And this is the first year I'll be officially participating, even though I've tried to unofficially participate in the past, but I have actual books picked out for the readathon this year, and I'm excited. So the first book I have picked out, one of our prompts says to read a book with a positive word, and I'm stretching this prompt a little bit. A positive word, I'm using snowman as my positive word because, I mean, you build a snowman, it makes you happy. The snowman in this book, I think, is going to be evil. I don't even know if there will be a snowman, but there's a snowman on the cover. It's named Snowman in the book, and to me, snowman, it has a positive connotation in my mind because it just reminds me of having fun. As a kid, I always wanted it to snow here in Louisiana, even though it never really did. It did one time at my grandparents' camp up in Kentwood, Louisiana. There was literally not even an inch. It was I don't even know. It was so tiny. We made the smallest snowman ever, and we were holding it up. It was this big. Anyway, it's the only snow we could gather to make a mini snowman. We couldn't make a full-size one, but I've got great memories associated with that little snowman, so this is my book for that prompt. And there are other prompts, like I said. One is to read a book with a body part in the title. For that, I'm either going to read Broken Hearts by R.L. Stine, or I might also read Books of Blood by Clive Barker, Volume 1. So either way, blood, it's part of your body. It's not a body part per se, but it's definitely part of a human body. Hearts, a heart is definitely part of a body. So either one would work, and I'm super stoked. And I'm hoping I can get to both. So definitely Books of Blood for sure, but if I could squeeze in another, Broken Hearts. If you want to hear the lowdown of all the prompts and all the deets, check out Coral's announcement video, which I will link below. I will also link her Instagram because she has a little graphic with all of the prompts as well. Okay, and the last reading event I want to talk about quickly is GarbAugust 2.5. It's going to be the Wasted Weekend. So, Olly did this last year. Essentially, February is the midway point where we're 6 months away from GarbAugust, which takes place in August. It's a readathon that Olly has created that celebrates trash. I was honored to be a co-host for last August. This August, I hope to be involved again. It was so much fun the first time around, so I'm really excited. I've been saving some trashy reads and, putting it around my room so that I can remember to put them on my TBR for August. But I don't have to wait till August to read some fun trash. I can do it for the Wasted Weekend in February. It takes place over the 17th and 18th of February, just like I said, over a weekend. That's why it's called the Wasted Weekend. And all you have to do, there are no prompts, you just read whatever you consider to be a trashy book. And for me, I'm gonna try to get to Flowers in the Attic by V.C. Andrews. It's time, baby! The freaking queen of trash. And I mean that with respect, because it's not trash as in it's not well written. It's kind of trash in that it has a lot of family drama, it has some incest, it has some kind of scoffed at type of content in it, but I'm excited. I've heard fantastic things about this book, specifically from my friend Alex, who really loved Flowers in the Attic when she read it for the first time just, I think, a year or two ago. So I'm stoked. Alex and I have very similar tastes, so heck yeah, let's go. I also have 2 other books that I'm keeping secret that I will be reading in February, so I will not be announcing them here, but it's for a special secret vlog. May or may not involve Mark Morris. So check out Mark Morris. He's a fantastic author. One of the books that I will be reading that I do want to shout out in this TBR video is The Ugly Men by Mark Morris, and I'm super excited to get to this. I will be reading more Mark Morris later in the year. I'll be buddy reading his books, at least one of his books, with my friend Alex, the Bookubus. But we're doing that later in the year. Like this month, like I said, we're focusing on the Ceremonies by Te Klein. But one of the books we will not be reading together, because Alex doesn't have this one, is The Ugly Men. So I'll be just reading it solo for February for my secret vlog, perhaps? Anyway, this also, I think, has to do with a cult, which is kind of funny. Is that my theme for February? It's a time not for loves and valentines. It's a time for cults, baby. Like, that's what I love, is cults, apparently, this year for February. So eager to get to this TBR. I'm really excited. A lot of the books that are on my TBR have audio. It's technically a 17-book TBR, including the books that I didn't talk about today that I'm keeping secret. So all put together, all totaled up, it's 17. But I think I could read that because today is the 29th of January, the day I'm filming this, and I have already reached 17 books. There are 29 days in February, so by that math, I think I should be able to do it. And I have more audio for books that are on my February TBR than I did have for my January TBR. So audio helps me get through more books a little bit more easily, or a little bit quicker, so I think I should be able to do it. Can I do it? Can I accomplish it? I think so. Alright guys, but for this time, that is it for me. What is on your February TBR? Are you excited? Are you participating in any of the same readathons? If so, which ones? Do we have any books in common? Have you read any of the books that are on my TBR? If you did you enjoy them? Why or why not? Leave any of that in the comments below. I love talking with you guys. But like I said, for this time, that is it for me. Till next time, you know what you can do, guys. Keep on killing it. Bye!